24 years of friendship, no apology, just silence. Once you've heard my story, write in the comments section below if you think it's shame or pride. Either way, that's his business. So, 1 year ago today, having just been notified via my photos, I had an incident where a friend of 24 years disappointed me, and yet after a few months I let it go and I forgave him. Spoke to him briefly at least 2 times over this year, but 95% of the time he's remained silent. If he's seen me in the shop, he's turned back. He's taken no accountability, and most of all, no apology. And just down to yesterday, the joker done the same again, saw me and decided to turn back. And I'm like, you really are carrying on like some immature little boy. Like, if anyone should be in their feelings and carrying on away, it should be me, because of your disgraceful act that you done. So to cut a long story short, 24 years of friendship. He's always loved me off, lust, whatever you want to call it. But we've always had a great friendship. I always made it known from day one, back in my early 20s, that there was no interest other than friendship. Yes, there may have been something back then, but due to his foolish behaviour of once dropping down his dentures in my face, thinking it was funny, that for me put me off him for life. Yep, sorry, little things like that, call it scornful, bad mind, whatever, I did not find that in the least bit entertaining or funny. It just put me off him. And what I kept thinking is, how could I ever think about kissing you if we were dating, and what, your dentures just drop out your mouth or in my mouth, or I don't know. Either way, just pure extreme thoughts used to come in my head back then. But anyway, that knocked it on the head. There was never ever going to be anything between us, just good friends, and that for me was more than fine. I'd met him through his cousin, who had introduced us again back, I think maybe back in 2000. Anyway, 24 years later, last year, he must have gone and got his teeth done. And I think for some reason he thought that would make a difference. Maybe he stood a chance with me. Even though I made it clear again that would never be the case. But hey, it is what it is, isn't it? Anyway, I must have been having a smoke in the back. He came out, we was talking. And all I can say is Satan jumped into his mouth or into his skin this time last year, because, like I said, never in a million years would I have expected him to do such a thing. While at the same time, I do have a bit of understanding, because, like I said, he's always liked me, and maybe in his head he did think having fresh proper teeth, it would make a difference. And then on the other hand, all I can say, it was Satan. So I forgave him, because that is what God would want me to do. And it ain't that deep, but it is that deep, because it would still come under like sexual harassment or sexual assault, whatever you want to call it, because from a person forces themselves, that's harassment, that's a, you know what I mean, that's assault, whatever you want to call it. It's a no-no. And especially you don't expect that to happen from a friend of 24 years. Okay? Anyway, back to the story. So he was in the back talking, and then out of nowhere, my man pounced on me by pushing me up against the wall and trying to kiss me. Now, I was fighting him off for maybe what seemed like forever, but it was literally, I think, maybe a couple of minutes. And then once I pushed him off me, naturally I was mad and I was cussing him. Yeah, went back inside. When I got back inside now, someone pointed out to me, Nikki, what's happened with the back of your dress? Look at the back of your dress. I'm like, what? When I looked, here are the pictures. This is what the aftermath of what my man done by pushing me up against the wall and trying to kiss me. Now, most people will probably say, or you'd probably say, well, why didn't you go and report him or whatever? And I'll tell you, I didn't report him because at the end of the day, he's someone I've known for 24 years. It wasn't, though it was obviously bad and out of order what he'd done, trying to force himself on me to kiss me. It wasn't, for me, to the extreme of, you know what I mean, far more worse scenarios that people go through. And I suppose also out of the respect of knowing his cousin and his family, or some of his family, you know what I mean, yeah, I was covering him, I suppose. But at the same time, would I have the same opinion if one of my friends had said that to me? I probably would have said, no, mate, you should have gone and reported him. But at the same time, no, I didn't. And I haven't. Though, don't get me wrong, I have thought about it, but I haven't. But I'm sharing my story now because, hello, that's what I do. I'm an open book. It's taken me a year to talk about this, because I suppose still being a little bit in disbelief of it. But then when you see that person and they're carrying on like an idiot by seeing you and not coming into the shop, it either is your embarrassed, your shame, your pride, or you know it bun you to see me, and knowing that we ain't got the friendship like we did once have, even though I've made my man know I've forgiven him, like we can move on. But rightfully so, an apology definitely is needed. You know what I mean? Take accountability for what you done. But you ain't doing that. And again, that was fine. You know what I mean? I know my conscience is clear. I'm the bigger person, and like I said, I forgave him. But seeing him again just yesterday and doing the same foolishness by turning back, I just thought, like, really? You just disappoint me, mate. Disappoint me, but that's your business. And me speaking it, if I was that bad mind, mate, I would be revealing his name, even down to his rotted picture. But I ain't got to do that, because he knows who he is, and those who know who he is know. But at the same time, should he ever listen to this message or be told that I've posted about it, you must know that your actions were disgraceful and you should feel shame in yourself. And you know that I'd forgiven you and was being amicable with you. But yet, for whatever your reason is, that you're carrying on like a little boy. Like, fix up. Honestly. Makes it worse that you are a father of a daughter. And I more than know if she had ever tell you, say, that her friend or even any man had carried on like that to her, I'm sure you would be the first one that would have wanted to go and do my man something. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's disappointing, mate. But like I said, that's your business. If you don't want to talk to me, though I had forgiven you, yeah, nothing more to be said on that subject. If you see me and you want to continue not coming in my space of where I am, again, that's your business. But yeah, it's upsetting to know the years of friendship that we've had, and you allowed Satan to jump in your mouth that night 1 year ago today and make you do your disgraceful act of trying to kiss me. And again, even back then, it could have all been just squashed like that had he apologised, because I am an understanding person and I know that was out of character for him. So that's what I'm saying. That was Satan, mate, that did jump in him, that jumped in his skin that evening. And like I said, just looking at the pictures, that's how my man had me push up against the wall. That you destroyed my lovely maxi dress. Destroyed it. Yeah, you couldn't make it up, mate. The proof is in the receipts of the pictures. But if anyone else can relate to ever going through something like that, like I said, I do not agree in not reporting and exposing these type of men. But like I said, I think just because of the years of friendship and that it is deep, it isn't that deep that I wasn't able to just let go of it and not report it and move on. And never to this day has apologised. And who knows, maybe should he ever get to listen to this, he might take it upon himself to apologise the next time I see him, because the forgiveness has already been granted. And I just want to end my story of truth by saying to anyone who's been disrespected by someone they trusted, know this: your strength isn't in silence, it's in speaking your truth. And to the men out there, friendship is not a waiting room for opportunity. Respect is not optional. Think before you act, because some lines once crossed can never be uncrossed unless you have a great forgiving nature and you're able to let go. But still, obviously, things will never be the same. But just do yourself a favour and respect the person and do not cross the line. Simple. Yeah. Chat back in the comment section below and let me know if you think it's shame or pride. Thank you for watching, for the love and support. And if you haven't already, subscribe.